Welcome to another episode of the RIA podcast. I'm honored to have one of our first audio engineers, not only just a regular audio engineer, but one of the senior audio engineers at IMI Studios. Let's welcome to the show, Chris Marcel. Chris, how's it going, man?
I'm good, man. Thank you. How's everything going for you? How's
Chilling, bro. Good, man. I'm just glad to have you on, honestly, because I was looking to have really good audio engineers, and obviously I've met a couple over the past couple months, but I'm glad to have you on as our first audio engineer guest, man. That's huge.
We've been talking for a while. I think for the past maybe 2 months or 3 months, we've been talking about it, but due to scheduling, me over here and you over there. But it's finally we're here today, and that's awesome.
Absolutely, man. I mean, there's no one that's more booked and busy than this man right here. This man is all over the place.
No, I love what I do, honestly. I'd rather just be in the studio, honestly. I just love just working, and it's really a comfortable place just to be in the studio, just working every day, and I just love the whole environment. My clients are awesome. The studio I work at is awesome. I just have it good, honestly, so I'd rather just be there than be home.
That's true. Would you consider yourself a studio junkie? Like an actual studio junkie?
I'm not gonna lie. I love being at the studio, honestly. When I'm home, I just feel like, I don't know, I get bored. I don't want to work on music. It's like I get unmotivated. It's really different how, the second I cross the bridge to New York with my train, I just get inspired. Something about the whole New York I just love. That's why I want to move out here, hopefully, next month or so.
Right, because you're from Jersey, right?
Yeah. From Bloomfield, New Jersey. I was raised there. Well, I was born in I was born in Newark, New Jersey. No, I'm sorry. I was born in Belleville, New Jersey, in Claremont Hospital, and I spent my entire life in Jersey. The past 25 years of my life in Jersey, and I love it there. It's awesome, but I just feel like for my career, it's definitely time to move to New York.
There's a bigger scene, I guess, in New York compared to other cities or states.
Yeah, New York for me is like the work ethic. Something about the whole New York community is just really inspiring. The people, like the coworkers I have that are from New York, they just have this go get attitude that it just inspires me.
Right.
And it just really the people around me are just so hungry, and it gets you motivated.
So absolutely.
So that's why I love the fact that just New York is just a different breed. It's just I just love New York. I never thought when I was 12 or 10 that I would just love the city so much, but here I am now, just obsessed with just moving to New York, hopefully soon for the future. For my job, anyways.
That's fire. I definitely feel like people get so kind of angry and uncomfortable in a quote unquote comfort zone because their expectations and their limits are a lot higher than what their comfort zone is. So they have to leave it and to really feel happy, even if it's more work and more responsibility. Would you feel like that kind of happened to you, where you kind of felt not impatient, but you were not in the right place or right situation? You had to get yourself out of that situation in order to really, fly and, boom out?
No, I agree, honestly. For example, for 20 years of my life, I really knew music, and not even that, but mostly I wasn't really doing anything with my life, and me just going to a whole different state, going to school in New York, and then me going interning, this and that, going deep into Brooklyn when I live at least an hour away from I live a bit more north, a bit around in Jersey. So I'm doing these weekly. I'm doing back and forth trips to downbeat Brooklyn for an internship that's not even a guaranteed job. But definitely, I feel like being out of comfort just really inspires you, because I feel like when you get comfort, it just causes complacency, and that's what I feel like. Just gotta really challenge yourself and put yourself in awkward positions for the better, because you can't really grow, and I feel like you're just in the same spot. You have to really just challenge yourself as a person.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So talk to me a little bit more about the responsibilities of an audio engineer, because believe it or not, I don't think a lot of people, the main public, really knows what an audio engineer is and that they even exist. So for the people who are uneducated in that aspect, what would you say the responsibilities of an audio engineer are?
Honestly, I think it's a lot. And I'm not gonna lie, I was definitely part of those people. I'm 25 now. It took me at least me being 21 to find out what exactly engineer was, because my knowledge was artist, producer, and then that was just the whole narrative for 20 years. And so one day I was just curious, so I googled what an engineer was, and I found out. But no, definitely, it's definitely interesting how just engineers, that whole terminology, what is that exactly? And it took me a while to even find out what that was. But I don't mind, but definitely, I think the one thing is just being passionate and just really, really caring, because the way I see, you really are just working with people's dreams. Every artist out there, this is their dream to really release an album, this song, and I think you guys are just really passionate and just really caring, and just be passionate about the whole project they're doing.
Right. Why do you think that audio engineers really never get that much media attention or that much praise? Because I feel like there are a lot of really good engineers if you go deep into research, but I guess mainstream people don't really give them that much credit. So why do you think that is?
Honestly, I think there's many things, but I think the one thing is just, like I said before, just a kind of lack of knowledge of the whole field. Because like I said, for at least 20 years of my life, I don't know what a recording engineer was, mastering, mixing. I just thought just a producer was the main hat. You were just a producer. And I think it's just more just lack of knowledge. But right now we have like, engineers like Mixbah Ali, Alex Toomey, just really pushing the narrative forward and shedding a light more on the whole engineer aspect. We have like, we have No Jumper interviewing like Mixbah Ali.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that's big because like that's a whole nother group of people that are seeing what exactly engineer is. Because like I said, for a while, I don't know what engineer was. And now here I am living my life, move this and that, paying this and that. And that's crazy how a field I didn't know existed is now how I'm going to be doing the rest of my life.
Right.
So definitely, I think it's more just lack of knowledge. It's just because it's kind of like a blurry line. People think that it's producer, but it's different, like different hats. But I think it's just lack of knowledge. But I feel like in the coming years, engineers are getting more in the spotlight. I feel like in a couple of years we're gonna hear engineers, hosting festivals, headlining festivals. This type we saw producers doing it in the past. So I definitely, I feel like we're definitely on the rise. We're definitely gonna see more just like spotlight on engineers.
Right. So like the older engineers, back in the days crawled. So your generation of engineers could run and pretty much.
Yeah, like I said, Mixbah Ali and Alex Toomey are really doing like things that push the more spotlight on engineering, doing like Twitch shows. And then like I said, being interviewed by like these really big hip hop blogs. So that's why I feel like definitely these people are just pushing more of a narrative on the whole engineering aspect.
That's awesome, man. So what made you pursue engineering specifically as opposed to maybe going to the production field or maybe something else in music or production?
Honestly, like my entire life, I always wanted to do music, but I'm just like maybe just I don't know. I could be negative sometimes. I'll be honest with myself. So I wanted to do music, but I just felt like I didn't want to really be like a rapper or an artist. I didn't really want to make beats. I didn't want to do the whole managing side. I really like the whole behind the scenes because at first I want to do live sound because I love the fact that like first like I love going to concerts. So before COVID happened, I was monthly going to concerts. I have seen J. Cole, Kendrick. I have gone to I went to Firefly. I have gone to so many different festivals. I haven't gone to Rolling Loud yet, but hopefully next year. But my biggest thing first, I used to go to festivals every other month, and I'll be like kind of like my treat to myself. To working hard that month, I'll go to like wherever. I went to Denver, and I saw Eminem. I saw the list goes on who I saw exactly on live. So mostly just that, man. Just being like I wanted to work behind the scenes, and I wanted to work in music, and I didn't want to really be an artist. I didn't want to really make beats. I just wanted to just work behind the scenes. So at first, I wasn't working live sound. So that's how I found about SAE because it gave you an option. It will give you like live sound background and it give you like engineering background. So my thought was I would just do some live sound stuff and then on the side engineer, and that's why I picked engineering. Now it's like I can't imagine anything else in my life. I just love doing it every day. I'm here at the studio and this and that, and it's crazy how it changed my life.
That's awesome. So for those who don't know, SAE is a School of Audio Engineering. So it stands for, right?
Yeah. So
it's a school. New York. Yeah, it's a school in New York City where you could learn production. Well, yeah, pretty much everything production-wise, not even just from music, but from audio of all different levels. Like everything. You learn TV stuff, right?
Awesome. Foley, the list goes on. It really just like an all-in-one audio engineering school. And all it needs for engineering, basically, from Foley to this and that. It's definitely a good experience, and I felt like I had to go to school. It definitely was a good experience for me. Those 18 months really taught me a lot, and really like the connection. Actually, I found about IMI because of SAE. Right. So like SE to me is like everything. Like this to a school like really changed my those 18 months. Even though it was 18 months, it was like a life-changing 18 months, honestly. Because like I said, like they showed me IMI, and IMI now is where I'm at now 2 years later. So SE really just gave me like a really good like foundation to really build myself and build my career.
Yeah, speaking of IMI Studio is actually where me and Chris actually met. I was interning there these past couple of months. It's been super incredible. I've met so many incredible and amazing people, and it's been crazy to really just see people professionals like Chris and other engineers I've met over there just like working with consistent clients, working these crazy hours in studio sessions and stuff like that, and just like you guys have a lot of responsibility of just like maintaining clients, making them feel good, and pretty much just like moderating these types of like these studio sessions. So do you feel like personality and professionalism go into engineering other than the actual technical pieces at some points?
No, I agree completely. I think engineering, it's a lot. Like people, it's not just about like how you know how to use Pro Tools. I feel like it's also how you just like talk to people and how you just know how to read people. Because like session, you're dealing with so much different people, and it's really just knowing how to like just motivate people, inspire people. Because the way I see, you're in a room with someone for 5 hours, and you're not gonna like start a conversation, see how they're doing, just like just see what exactly is on their mind. Just talk to them, because how you gonna be in a room with someone for 5 hours and just not say anything? I feel like, but that's how I see the whole engineering aspect. But definitely personality wise, because you're there and you're locked in with this person, so definitely it needs to be like a certain personality trait, and definitely be more just stuff like that.
Yeah, not absolutely. I feel like a lot of fans feel like that maybe having a studio or going to the studio, it's really easy, or maybe like having a studio session is really easy, but obviously certain artists select certain studios in certain cities for a specific reason. So what, from your experience, what goes into an artist, choosing a studio as their official studio for the most part?
I think the most thing is like, of course, quality is up there, but I think also about comfort wise. I have clients that literally they just love going to IMI because it's the whole home vibe, the engineers. They don't really feel pressure. They treat it with respect. I have a client and he basically is like he loves coming to IMI because he doesn't get rushed out the room when it's time to leave. Like he's treated like a regular person, and that's a good thing about IMI basically, or just any. But when it comes to being comfortable as an artist, just where you're gonna spend all this money at, it's gonna be a spot that's gonna take care of you and actually treat you with respect, or you're just another client, another just money bag. So
Right.
that's why I feel like it's really like important that an artist really finds a comfortable spot and feels comfortable in a studio spot, because they're gonna like people see it as like their 2 hours of break from like whatever doing how their week was. I have clients that literally like the best part of the week is the 2 hours we spend on a Sunday, and that's like that means everything to me. That's really inspiring. So when that happens, it's just making sure you just keep that same comfortability and just making sure everyone's just comfortable and just really just keeps on just being inspired to come to the spot.
So it's not only like a technology type of field, but it almost sounds like a hospitality type of field too, in a sense. Not in a way of like where you're serving people and stuff like that, but you're making people feel comfortable and you're selling an experience for the most part.
Yeah, I agree because like I said, like I feel engineering, definitely is important to be, knowledgeable in the DAW you use, but also I feel like, just being a person, just being like a good person, just, just communicating with them, laughing, just having a good time. Because I know we're here to work, but also, we're here to have a good time and just see it as like, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Just, just you're here to relax and have a good time and also create music.
Right. What would you say is the best part about having a studio session? Like a nice, like great, fulfilling studio session. What is that to you?
Honestly, for me, it's just I think it's just like the experience. Like people will bring like their friends, and it's just a whole just good environment. People are just creating music. It's like I said, it's just 4 hours. Like everyone's just laughing. People are smoking. People are drinking. Everyone's just having a good time, and then their friends also in the booth recording. So it's just like a really good like you just like I feel like it's kind of like part of like a hangout session in a way. Like everyone's just you have artists working, you have two of his friends in the back just hanging out, and you have the engineer just working. I feel like just kind of like it's like memories you just create though, because I have memories like I have clients that literally they record a song and then they would talk about that session 2 months later about how it was so much fun. It was like they would talk about this and that story. So it really just you create memories honestly.
Right.
And like not even that, but when the song is released, you just like I remember that Tuesday when I recorded that song. It was like that session. It was like we had this and that happening. So it was definitely like I feel like it's just like the memory parts you create from those good sessions.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I feel like that's is that one of the biggest compliments for you? Like having like those amazing sessions and the fact that you're able to curate that much of a great experience for professionals and for your clients?
Yeah, it's really feel good, because like, the way I see it, man, it doesn't matter how the client is like, paying for the session. That's still the blank amount of money they're spending that day for the session. So like I want to make sure however they got it, that to make sure they have a good session, that the money is well spent. Cause like I said, I have clients that literally those 2 hours is the best part of their week. And that's like, that's one day out of the 7 days, So the fact is just, just making sure, yeah, just really just happy that when people say things like that.
So you don't only work at IMI, you're also a freelancer, if I'm getting that correct, where you go to other studios or other locations. Is it hard sometimes for you to kind of like go somewhere else and adjust to different equipment, different speakers and all that type of stuff? Or have you just kind of like learned over the years to just kind of like adjust to that?
It's definitely a challenge, just being like right now. Well, I'm only at 2 spots right now, or like 2.5. I'm mostly at 2 spots, IMI and IMI Studios, and also Sound Studios in Queens.
Nice.
And like it's a kind of freelance, engineering. Like you got to really make it 40 hours. Like it's not guaranteed 40 hours, so that's why I'm over here and I'm over there and I'm over here, because it really is just like you make it to 40 hours engineering. I feel like it's not really a given. And this guy wants you for 2 hours in Queens, but this guy wants you 5 hours that day late, like that same day. So you gotta just somehow kind of like consider like commute time from going to Queens to Lower East Side, and just seeing like, just being just really organized about it. But no, definitely it's a lot. In Queens, I use more my equipment, my laptop, and like different speakers. So definitely like a little adjustment. But I don't mind whatever I'm needed. I'll be there. I don't really mind.
How much education do you need to have when it comes to the basics of just like learning how to use computers and wires and equipment in general? Like how many hours you spend like kind of like constantly researching stuff like that on a daily basis?
Honestly, at first I was definitely more on the hands-on. Like I was definitely, because like I said, like for 20 years of my life, I didn't know anything about engineering. So I definitely was like on like not ahead of the curve. I felt like I was behind. So I'll never forget this day. It was my first day of class SE, and I remember my teacher was like, "All right, who here knows what Pro Tools? Who here knows how to mix and master?" And I was just like, my hand was down the whole entire 10 minutes because I'm just like, I know, and I look around, I'm just like, oh, everyone knows it.
You felt like such a rookie.
I was like, damn, I need, and I know I saw it as like, I need to catch up. Like I didn't see it as like a negative, I wasn't like, damn man, like this guy knows more. I was just more just like, all right, rightfully so, these guys are ahead of me, but that's not a problem. I just spend more hours. So at first, the first year it was more, and luckily I was in school, so it definitely helped me be more like know the more like terminologies, and know like what's XLR cable, what's that, what's EQ, because like I said, for 20 years of my life I didn't know what an EQ was, compressor, de-esser. It's crazy how like these words are now like my daily usage, but before it was just like a random word to me. So no, but now like like now like the current times, now I focus more on just like on different plugins, because I feel like I'm more comfortable when I have a decent knowledge of like the XLRs and things like that. And now I'm just focusing more on like different plugins, how to record faster, how to mix faster, how what's the better frequencies to control over, things like that. But I'm always learning, because I feel like I said before, you can't really get complacent. You always have to just learn. And this field is like you can learn a billion things every day. It's crazy how much you can learn from audio engineering.
Right. So obviously you learn a lot from experience, but are there other maybe like whether it's a podcast or YouTube videos or other types of like forms of media that you use maybe it's like to learn or like catch up on certain things?
Yeah, I think YouTube is powerful, man. YouTube is like literally, YouTube is everything. You could literally type in a plugin and there will be 20 reviews about that plugin from different people, from the biggest content creators to like the more beginning ones. And it doesn't matter, like I feel like you can learn anything from anybody. It doesn't matter like where you're on your stage in your career. You could learn any type of thing, how to use a plugin, because everyone uses a plugin differently. Everyone has a certain like favorite that they like more high end bass or low end bass or more compression. The list goes on. So I feel like, it's just more just like, yeah, YouTube is powerful, man. And also there's books out there, but in my case, I use more YouTube, because the fact is like, it's like I'm more of a visual learner.
Right.
So the fact that there's a 20-minute video, them just like clicking and moving knobs is more just more interesting to me. So things like that.
Yeah, I'm more of like a hands-on learner like that too, because for me, like I could always rewind and see exactly how they did it and just like learn from there, either write it down or like embed it, like, okay, this guy did it exactly like this. So stuff like that, as opposed to someone just like telling me
and you just
how to do something.
Notes. No, because like, the good thing about YouTube is like, you could pause it and you can reopen Pro Tools and you can go, back to back. You could pause the video, go on Pro Tools, check it out, and then you can like, go back to YouTube, click the video and play it. So it's really cool. Like that's why like videos, it's more just like you can learn on your pace, and you can actually be on Pro Tools and actually practice the actual plugin you're doing. So things like that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Honestly, after learning about SAE and other like production schools like that, I always asked myself after that, I was like, why don't high school teachers or education institutions in general, why don't they tell kids, hey, listen, if you love music this much, go to a school like this. You don't have to go to like Harvard or some big Ivy League school and get like a business degree or some boring degree that you're not passionate about. If you love making music, you can go to a school to learn how to perfect music and become like a master in that type of sense. So that's always that. I don't know. That was always like really weird to me. Did you ever get like? Were you ever thinking about getting just like a regular job at first when you first graduated high school, or did you know for a fact that you wanted to do music?
Man, I worked so many different jobs before in music. It's great. That's why like so like the last not the real job, but the last job I had in Jersey per se, because when I went to school in SE, I worked at an ice cream shop. Before all that, my last kind of like real job in a way, I used to work at an airport at the Newark airport in Newark.
Yeah.
And like and that job had a lot of downtime. And just sitting there, I just thought about like what I want to do in life. But before even the airport, I worked at everything, man. I worked for a moving company. I worked at a wedding hall. I worked at a bakery. I worked at different jobs. I mean, realized I can't be doing these like random jobs, because I never really knew what I want. Like I always wanted to do music, but I just I was like I said, I was just too hard on myself. I just thought that I wasn't cut out for like all that negative stuff. But that's the past. But besides that, I had different jobs, and having those bad jobs made me realize like I need to do what I love. Like, it doesn't matter, like, this job pays that. Like, are you really happy at the airport? Are you really happy at this job? Like, is it really worth it? like, I feel like, because, we're here for like, who knows how long we're here for? It's just gotta just really just do what you want in life. And that's why I took that random leap of faith and just left the airport. And a week later or a month later, I was already in school in SAE, just like that. And it's, that's how I really just see life. It's just like definitely the jobs were hard. And
yeah,
like I said, well, actually after high school, I went to a community college, and I was going to be a teacher. I was going to be a history teacher.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I was going to be a teacher. So I still want to be a teacher anyway, but maybe now my goal is to be a music teacher.
Yeah, definitely not history.
Yeah, but not history. Even though I love, like, even, like, I don't know what happened, but for the past week or so, I've been watching, like, these history videos. It's crazy. I've been watching, like, videos on, like World War II, World War I. Like, I don't know how it happened on my YouTube suggestions, but it's been a blessing. I've been just home just watching like just all these history buffs, all these history things going on. So it's been interesting. But yeah, before after high school, I was, besides all these different jobs, I was gonna be a history teacher, and my goal now is probably just be an engineer, like for music engineering, just go back to SAE or whatever the case may be, and just teach engineering and just But that's just we're saying like 10 years from now. Like I'm really big on just having like a plan, and that's for the future. I love where I'm at right now. There's no rush, but in the future.
Dope. Honestly, it's really shocking to me that you were telling me that you were kind of being really negative and getting in your own way, because you're such a talented person. I think like anyone else I could ask could vouch for that as well. So how did you get over that negativity, or how did you get over those, like, I guess, like insecurities and like all those negative thoughts? Like, how did you kind of like get over that? Because it could have easily gone the opposite direction, where you could have been still working some regular job, and you could have never even like seen the potential, and like your life would have been completely different than what it is right now.
No, honestly, all right. So I'm very negative, but I'm also just like, I hate just having the what if thought in my head. That bothers me the most.
Right.
So like back to the point, like when I was at the airport, I had a lot of like downtime in a way. Like my job was I will like transport. I'll have a little go kart, like Mario Kart, and I have my little cart, and I will like drive it 4 minutes away to like another part of the airport and drop off like a baggage or like whole like cargo. And during those 40 minutes a day, and back to back, that's like 2 hours of you just in your thoughts just driving a little go kart. So like it had time to just kind of reflect, and I was like, I'm definitely scared to do this leap of faith. But what am I more scared of? Like not doing it and failing, or like not doing it and just being like, damn, like I wonder what happened, or failing.
Yeah.
And like that's why I'm really big on just the whole like what if thing. I don't want to just live life like, damn, I wonder what would happened if I did it. So I was like, you know what? If I fail, then it is what it is. I'd rather just fail than like be like 50 and be like, damn, man, I wish like when I was like 20, I just did that leap of faith. Because I think that would kill me more than just being like negative.
Right.
Like because it's kind of like pick your poison. Like what's worse, just being like just downing yourself like that, or just taking that risk and failing. So I'm happy it came out this way, and it's a blessing. And it's definitely been like a 4-year grind. And I'm happy to be where I'm at right now.
It must be kind of crazy to think about how one decision of you just like believing in yourself could make the whole difference.
Oh, it's scary. I think about it every day, honestly. That's why that's why I'm so just like so grateful of like where I'm at right now, because we're saying in 5 years. We're not even saying like in 10 years. In 5 years, somehow, first of all, even before the music, I couldn't even keep a job for like 6 months, and here I am now, like 2 years and counting at IMI, a year and a half counting in sound studios. Like it's just crazy how like the second I have a job that I like, I don't want to leave. And like the most job I had before was like 8 months at the airport, 6 months at the airport, and not even that. But like I couldn't really keep a job for more than a year, and it was my fault. Not even like the company's fault. It was my fault, because I would lose interest. So I would just be like, damn, like this is really for me, and just like kind of be over it.
Yeah, no, you didn't care. So like,
That's
of course,
it.
when you don't care about something, you put the least amount of effort into it.
Yeah, so,
But then again, like that's not life, like you said.
No,
Like engineering, you actually care about. So
No.
you're gonna want to put not only like the minimum amount of hours, but the extra hours because you love it that much.
Exactly, and that's how I feel like life in school should be. Honestly, if you're really doing if you're really doing 40 hours a week, are you really happy? Like like if I'm gonna do 40 hours a week at a job, it has to be something I like. There's no way I'm gonna do 8 hours a day and just go home and that be like the highlight of my day, basically.
Yeah.
Like me going home is like the best part of my 8 hour shift. Like that's crazy to me. So that's what like my biggest thing was, like I need to find something that I like, and I knew like I would love music, because like I said, like my background is I would go to concerts monthly, and I would like save up, and I was my last penny to go on concerts.
Yeah.
Like funny story enough, I sold like my I kind of sold my Xbox 360. No, I'm sorry, my Xbox One. Because I wanted to go see Travis Scott, and it was at Terminal 5 like at least 2 years ago. It was for his birthday.
Okay, that's lit.
Wow, crazy concert. Like,
Was that before?
That's
was
when
that,
Burst in the Trap dropped.
that's his best. In my opinion, that's his best album. His best body of work.
That was a good. No, I remember that whole year for me. It reminds me, because that's when I was at the bakery, on the Budokan Bakery in Newark. That's like my best friend's job. My best friend owns a company, and shout out to him. Definitely, he gave me a job for 8 months, and I appreciate it. But when I was at the bakery making these sandwiches, I would just have albums on loop, and that was one of the albums I had on loop, the Burst in the Trap. So whenever I hear that, I'm just like, I think of like my bakery days, and I used to make sandwiches. I'm like, damn, I remember when I used to like make a chipata and just like make all these different like all these different Puerto Rican sandwiches and different Puerto Rican dishes, and I'm like, damn. So definitely nostalgic, but no, that's a great album. It is definitely.
It's crazy how music can just take us back to a time, whether it's happy times, sad times, the worst of times, and we could literally feel kind of like these different emotions of, damn, like that's how it was back then. Look where I'm right now, or damn, like life was a lot better back then, which is crazy. It puts you like in a completely different mood sometimes.
Yeah, the first 5 seconds of like the first chord of the song, you'd be like, yeah, I remember when I used to hear this song when I was like driving home at late at night and I was in my fields and I'll play this song. It's crazy how like you know, like a song just has like a memory, and that's why I love music in a way because it's so like memorable. Like it's just so like the way I see like kind of like it never really dies. Like being part of the industry, like you're part of these songs that are on for that'll be here forever, even past me, past everything. These songs that I'm mixing and recording, these songs will be on Spotify, whatever, forever. And that's what I love about music. It's just so timeless.
Right.
Like it's just so like forever. And not even that, but the memories, back to the point about the whole, like, you have a fire studio session, 5 hours, you're recording, and a song drops a month later, and you're just like, yo, I remember that day. I remember when we did that song, and it was, like, so much fun. And it's just cool how just, songs or just music just creates memories. And, like, good or bad, but not even that, but the fact that, like, you just have such a good time, music is crazy how it can just put you back 10 years later or 10 years before, it's crazy how, like, it's like a little time capsule in a way.
Yeah, man, absolutely. It literally takes you back in time. I'm really happy with the fact that I met you guys and I was able to be able to go to like a music studio and actually intern there, because I used to sit in sessions and cook up sessions with these guys. The most incredible thing I think I've ever experienced in my life. Just like seeing how songs are created is nuts. I wish everyone could kind of like, experience that for a little bit. It's incredible. Like how you guys first start off, how the artist first like does does everything, like the hook, bridge, ad libs. Meshing that all together, and then like the mixing and mastering section, and then like you hear the song like out and everything. It makes you made me appreciate music and production a lot more, which is incredible.
No, I agree completely. I'm not gonna lie. This is how I know I'm an engineer, because like literally, I'll find a beat off of YouTube. Like sometimes I have a client, he would just type dancehall type beat on YouTube, and we'll find the beat. And it's funny how he's hearing the beat for the first time. I hear just the drums. Wow, he hears a whole melody.
Right. Yeah.
And that's like that to me blows my mind, because like I hear nothing. Like it's funny, you hear a beat, yeah, that beat's fire, but I can't tell you a 5-bar hook. I can't tell you anything. Like I can't even tell you like, oh, maybe there's I just nothing. I'm just like, oh, fire beat, because that's where my mind's at. It's crazy how like some people just have a knack for just like hearing like, all right, this is the first bar, I'm gonna say it like this. Meanwhile, they just heard the beat like 5 minutes ago, and that just blows my mind to me, because seeing like quite the creative process of like doing like bar by bar, or not even that, but just punching in. All right, that's the hook. I fly it over. I 16 bars now. Bam. I just do ad libs now. And it's just like it's crazy how like the process of making music is so beautiful, because people just before the music, I didn't know how do you even create music? What do you do first? Do you work on the hook, the verse? Like what do you even start by that? But it's cool how like be doing it and being an engineer. You see how like it's a really a process. It's like the first hook, then the verse. I just do ad libs, let's do doubles, and it's cool how you just see like everything being made just organically. It's like when you first load on that beat to the finished product, it's crazy how it just has a full circle of life.
Yeah, man, absolutely. It's also crazy how, again, like the creative side of it, the engineer views a beat as one thing, the artist views it as a complete other one. You two use those ideas, mesh it together, and create just like magic.
Yeah,
that's why it's so important. It's not as simple as just okay, beat, artist, you sing or rap on it. It's not like that. It's a whole bunch of people and a whole bunch of heads just like getting together and like, mixing everything and like putting more ideas into it and suggestions and stuff like that. So do you feel like you kind of have to coach artists sometimes to like how to maybe like for pitches or like kind of like composing like the beat in a type of way? Or do you feel like you kind of like give the artist that type of role sometimes? Or is it give or take depending on what the situation is?
Honestly, I think it's depends on the artist. I have some artists that they're more of the like they just want me to just like loop them and just loop record them, like just punch them in, because they know what they're doing. It's just more that they want to get the right take out. Right. I have some clients that's like, you know what, bro, like what do you think about that second bar? Can you like what do you think about it? Can we redo it again? While some clients are just like we barely even talk because it's so much like we just know I already know what he wants, how he wants to sound, that we don't barely even talk. So it's more just on the client, Some people more like they want your opinion, while some people are just like, it's more just like it's just down to business. It's just more just like I already know already 8 bars is the hook. I'm gonna fly it after 16 bars. It's more just like it depends who you work with. Really it's just that. Some people want to, it really depends who you work with basically.
So we were just talking about how how beautiful music sessions are. I mean, how studio sessions are, but obviously that's not the case all the time. Just like with anything in life. So without going in deep into like maybe like a client or a specific spot, whatever, what was the worst or one of the worst studio sessions you have ever had?
Honestly, it was definitely in the beginning, in the first couple months of my career. It's when you're learning stuff, so you're definitely gonna mess up a lot and a lot. Like I have times that I have clients. Not times. This is the first couple months of my career basically. But yeah, So what happened is, one time I had a client that he walked out the room because I couldn't fly the hook over. But like I said, it's all my fault because how you're gonna put me in a like, how did I not take time to practice how to do simple engineering stuff? So most of it's that, it's more just like me being me just messing up mostly, me not knowing how to like turn a mic on really, and just just mostly just like one-on-one stuff that I should have paid attention to, basically stuff like that. But definitely, I took a couple losses, I took a couple L's in the beginning. But I feel like it's a learning curve, because you got to mess up to learn. So like it was in a way that's how I see a positive out of everything in life, and definitely hurt to take that loss, but I learned how to become faster, how to become quicker, how to like be quicker with troubleshooting, and not just put myself like in a hole like oh damn the mic isn't working, and just be like so like just down about it, things like that.
Right, kind of like the loser attitude of like, oh, it's equipment's fault, it's this person's fault.
Yeah, like it's like, oh, you should have done more practice. Like you should have like that's how I see. Like okay, the mic went on, but did you do a proper mic check before the session started? Did you actually prepare yourself?
Absolutely.
So that's why I see. Like definitely, it sucks to take a loss, but did you actually prepare for this, or are you doing like the blame game?
Facts. Yeah, one thing about working with like technology of any kind, like recording audio, like audio stuff like that, is that you have to really make sure that everything's working well, everything's working good. And if it's not, then that's just gonna fuck up, and like you're gonna be tight about it. So
yeah, any second things can just go left. It's crazy, and like that's why like I love engineering. It just always puts you on your toes, because in a second the mic could just go off, but yet like 2 hours ago it was working fine. So just stuff like that. It's more just like you never know what's gonna happen, but kind of like it's part of the job. Things just can go wrong left and right, and you just never know. But it is what it is.
Honestly, with engineering, one thing I've learned, but just by like looking at your sessions, like sitting in your sessions, like you're so concentrated and so just like zoned in. It's insane. It's crazy.
Box. Yeah, it's like me and that little like screen.
Yeah, and I'm
box.
like, damn, like he's just like focused and like in there. So it's just like, do you have to like pay attention to detail over every little thing? Like, how much is your like attention to detail really expanded since you started engineering?
Honestly, I always been like a really just like thoughtful person, and really just like if I'm doing something, I'm gonna give it my 100%. I'm always gonna be focused on it. Cause so engineering really just yeah, when I'm engineering, man, yeah, it's just me and that screen. Literally, I'll just be there and I'll be just looking. It's just me. Like, yeah, there's people around, but it's just me and that screen right there. It's crazy. But honestly, man, it just yeah, it definitely affects me a lot. It definitely is like I love it though, just being that concentrated. Because we're there for a short period of time, and we gotta crank out these songs. I feel like we gotta work hard. Like, and I want to make sure the client leaves happy and can leave with the best possible song they can in that given time, and things like that.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So at IMI, you have a nickname. You go by the Wizard. I didn't give you that nickname. I'm pretty sure you didn't give yourself that nickname. I don't know where where that nickname came from. So explain to the people, why do people call you the Wizard?
All right. So this is a story behind the whole Wizard thing. So all right. So this goes back last February. So this is before COVID and everything. So basically Darius he becomes an intern at IMI.
Darius, by the way, is another senior audio engineer at IMI. Dope artist too. We're gonna talk about him in a little bit too. But yeah, just for a little information there.
So he's actually like the founder of like the Wizard name, because like I didn't give myself that name. It's just I go with it. I love it though. I love it though. It's funny. I have no problem with it. I think it's a cool name. But it's just funny because like he came up with the name, and I think it's because like one day he just said it, and then he just put it on Instagram, and he just kept on commenting under my. He just kept on saying
the Wizard emoji,
like the Wizard, and like and it just like it just started clicking. Now people would just start saying the Wizard, and I'm like I love it though. But it's funny because like people think I was talking to one of my coworkers at IMI. He thought I came up with the name, and I'm just like, nah, man, it was actually Darius. And he's like, oh shit, really? I'm like, yeah. He just called me, and people started saying it, and I kept it. I'm like, yeah, it's cool. So stuff like that.
Nicknames that you don't give yourself, I feel like hit different.
Yeah,
like when someone else gives you a nickname, it gets more organic. If you give yourself a nickname, it's kind of like, all right,
yeah, you're
like,
forcing it.
You're like if you call yourself like, oh yeah, I'm the Wizard. You sound kind of douchey.
Yeah, so maybe like, why'd you give yourself that name?
Like, why would you call yourself like the Wizard?
But yeah, the whole name is like, it was Darius. Like I said, like it was he was an intern. We started working, and like it was one of those late nights, and he just put it on. I think he just put on his story, the Wizard, and he just kept on. Just one time he would just post it again of me just engineering. He put like the Wizard, and then eventually just
caught on. Like
just caught on, and now like you just see everyone say the Wizard. But I don't mind, so I love it though. There's no problem with it.
Do engineers usually have like nicknames, or like go by stage names for the most part? Do they kind of like stick to their own names like how does that kind of work? Because I know rappers and producers do that, but I don't know if like engineers kind of go into that.
No, no. Some engineers do have like nickname. Even for myself, exactly. My name isn't really Chris Marcel. It's Christian Sanchez. But like I'm The story behind that though is because I just want a different name. You know, I want to kind of like separate like the whole myself and create a new identity basically.
Right.
When I entered this whole new adventure, so I wanted to create a new identity, new name, and kind of like rebrand myself in a way. I know it sounds kind of weird, but like you know, just kind of like
rebrand yourself.
It's a new journey, like you know. So why not just like kind of like restart yourself? You know, like a restart button. You know, kind of like give yourself a name, but like this and that, you know, thing like that. So yeah, nicknames. Even myself, I have a nickname, and that's Chris Marcel. So definitely, you know, engineers. We have Alex Toomey. Then we have myself. Like you know, people just have like their own name. People can go by their own name. I think they have a nickname. It's, you know, vice versa. Doesn't matter.
That's dope. This is actually the first time I'm learning that Chris Marcel is in your actual your actual government name.
You know, people call me like Mr. Marcel, and like, and and I'm like walking the street, and I'm just like, who's he talking to? Like, oh, he's talking about, like, oh yeah, Marcel, yeah, that's me. Because I remember like it was one of the collab labs at IMI Studios with Hatch.
Yeah.
Basically, you know, he'll bring like you know, these great talented engineers and these great producers and great songwriters, and then someone would be like, yo, Mr. Marcel, how's it going? I'm just like, I'll be confused, like who's he talking to?
Mr. Marcel.
And I'm just like,
the amount of respect is crazy.
No, it's all banter. It's all banter. It's not. It's just more just like, you know, I know these guys for at least a year and a half. You know, Beats Banging basically. He's a cool guy.
Cool.
So it's not. It's more just like it's all banter basically, because like, you know, we've been working and friends. We've been working for a year now. So you know, it's all just banter, and I you know, I'm all for jokes, so I don't mind.
Where did the Marcel part come from? Is that like your middle name, or like part of your middle name, or your mom's maiden name or something?
So like, all right. So what happened is, all right. So my real name is Christian Daniel Sanchez. So Marcel's not even in the picture. It's like Marcel was like nowhere. That's not even. So not even the picture. So basically, I always was a fan of like two names. So like the Frank Oceans, Kanye West. I always thought that it was cool when people had like first names as two names. That makes sense. So not even that, but like, you know, just having a two name like alter ego, or a two name like stage name basically. You know, Frank Ocean, Kanye West, A$AP Rocky. The list goes on. Like, you know, all those two names like type of like stage names. So basically, growing up, I'm a really big soccer fan as well, and I used to love this player called Marcelo. He's a left back from Real Madrid.
Yep.
So I thought he was like this crazy ass left back. I thought he was cool. And my name is Christian and Marcelo, so when you kind of combine the names, you get Chris Marcel. So
that's funny.
So that's the whole origin of like the name basically.
How far would it be to actually meet him and tell him the story in person?
It would be a great story. We just like, damn, like I don't even know what to say. Like you inspired this, and not even that, but it took me a year. Like I remember it being SE, and it took me a year to come up with that name basically. Because I would sit there in class like, I didn't think of like a name for myself.
A cool name. Everyone has these cool names.
Like,
I need a cool name.
I need this cool like producer name, but like I don't want something kind of like too flashy.
Right.
That's my point. I don't want something like that's like too flashy.
Yeah, because you're not a flashy person.
No, I'm really just
something
like quiet.
Simple.
Like, you know, like kind of like so simple. Like, you
your
know,
work speaks for itself. Your work is a lot louder and flamboyant. Not flamboyant. I'm sorry, but like more like
I understand.
Electric.
No, definitely.
Than you are. You're more of like a low key person.
I'm more quiet. You know, I didn't want to. Like, I want a name that like I know it's gonna sound different, but I want a name that like I could be 55 and still be called Chris Marcel. You know, that's
that's actually really smart of you to think down the road. Because of course, like as you get older, you know, you can't be like Lil Pump at 55.
I feel you.
You gotta be like just Pump, or like, are you feeling me, or just like somebody else? I don't know, somebody else. Now. Yeah.
You know, that's how I felt. Like, you know, yeah, I'm telling you, this like that year in school, like I thought about like I sat there. It was like a drawing board. I was just like, what can I call myself? What can I call myself? So, you know, eventually I came with just Chris Marcel, and I like it. You know, I'm probably against it now. Though I probably should have just kept just Christian Sanchez. But you know,
no, why? Why?
No, that's how I am. Though.
Chris Marcel, aka the Wizard. I think it's great. I think it fits you perfectly.
You know, I love.
There's a lot of Christian Sanchez's. A lot of Chris Sanchez.
You can tell me. I've been trying to find like I tried to type my name in one of those login services. Like, sorry, username taken. Like, yeah, because Christian Sanchez is the most like.
You know
common.
How many Sanchez's there are in Astoria or in New Jersey?
I have the most like common three names. First off, my name is Christian. My middle name is Daniel, and my last name is Sanchez. I have like the three-way like the most common stuff ever. Like, so I was like, I need something different. Like, I can't just be called Christian Daniel Sanchez. Like, actually, no, I'm joking. I love that name. My mom gave me a cool name, but you know, like
but that's like your government name.
Yeah, you know, and the whole point is like, you know, I'm really big on just like, you know, when I did this like 4 years ago, I wanted to kind of like rebrand myself. You know, I want to just like I want to do like a restart button. And how I see that by just giving yourself a new name, a new career path. Because this is when I went to school, so this is a whole new career path, and just like, you know, just start new in a way. You know, I'm in a whole new state now. Like, it's just like a whole, just like a restart button.
Right.
You know,
like Christian Daniel was making sandwiches.
Yeah.
And you know, bringing bags to airports. Chris Marcel is out here mixing. You know, whole professional now.
Yeah, that's what I see.
A whole different person. Well,
like,
same person, but a different level of that person.
That's what I saw, just like kind of like separate myself, just create like a new identity and just be like, that's main thing was I'm really big on just kind of like a restart and just be like, that's the past and that was like a part of my life. There's a new part of me now, stuff like that.
You know what? I may need like a stage name now. I don't know, or like an on air name.
Damn, let's see. You know what?
I gotta see. Well, because I like my name Mateo. I like it because in my opinion, Mateo sounds like an actual name, but then a nickname too somehow.
No,
it's not Matthew. Like nobody should call me Matthew. I don't like when people call me Matthew or Matt because that's not me. Mateo is not Matt. And Matt.
Now Mateo, see, I'm saying like certain names like fit people. Like Mateo's like his name is Mateo. It looks like a Mateo. Like his name is like definitely fits him. So definitely. No, trust me. It took me a year to come up with this. I'm literally in class taking notes. Meanwhile, I'm just thinking about like, all right, nickname. Come on, we got like 4 months left to think of a nickname. So, it took me a while to come up with that whole name. And stuff like that.
Funny thing with my quick side story. Quick thing with my name is that my name was gonna be Thomas. The reason my parents didn't name me Thomas was because my dad's childhood dog's name was Tomas. So they realized last minute, hold up, we can't name him after the dog. So that's where Mateo came up. So you would have been calling me Thomas by now, or like Tommy. Or I would have said, you know what, fuck him. Tommy's such like a generic name. I would have gone to something else. So I might have been like a whole different nickname, which is wild if you think about it. I'm really happy my parents didn't call me Thomas.
That's crazy. Like for me, my mom was I'm gonna butcher I forgot the artist's name. My mom was a big she was a fan of the Spanish artist. I forgot his name. I think it was like Cristian Castro, something like that.
Oh, okay.
So like, and his name is
not Hector Lavoe, right?
No. So like, my mom was like, she was a big fan of this artist, and she's like, I don't know what to name my son. So then that's how I got named Christian. Because like she was a big fan of like I said, I'm butchering the guy's name badly, but Cristian Castro, like it was like this it was this
Is it a salsa dancer? Salsa singer or something?
Man, it's been years that I've heard this guy's music. It's been a while, but definitely he was definitely a Latin art. I actually, you know what? I'm definitely missing the whole information, but definitely he was an artist, and my mom was a big fan of him, and she just named me after the artist, and his name was Christian, so that's why my name is Christian.
It's pretty dope how she named you after a music artist, and you end up going into music.
I never saw like that. Like I was thinking while saying this, like I'm like, oh shit, actually, that's funny how like mama made me after an artist, and I'm now doing music for a living. So yeah, I didn't think about it till now, until it hit me like, wow, me saying that to you right now.
People talk about manifestation so much. That's manifestation right there. Not only did you give birth to a human being, you named this human being after the same career path that he's going to be going towards in the next 20 years.
Who would have thought, man? My mom was a genius. He's a genius.
Yeah, shouts out to your mom, man. That's crazy.
Of course. My mom was awesome.
You know what? We actually had a really dope conversation back when I first started interning at IMI about immigrant parents understanding the 21st century hustle, and like the I guess the millennial and Gen Z hustle, which is intern, clean up in studios, go to the city for no pay but just for opportunity. And we talk about how sometimes immigrant parents, not just Latino parents, but like immigrant parents of all kinds, just they might not get it sometimes.
No, because this me doing music, this was the first thing for everyone in the family. Like, what is an intern? Like, what do you mean you go in the studio? Like, because all this, it's true because if you think about it, like all this, because first off, my family, people that might have the music, but the whole engineering aspect, no one really went down that road. So everyone's just like, we're all just learning this thing for the first time. All of us, we're all just being like, so he goes to Brooklyn for like 8 hours on Saturday and just cleans and just sits in a room and watch someone record. Like, how is that beneficial? Because like in their aspect, I see like I think people from like their point of view, and I see when my mom thinks that it makes like saying that out loud kind of crazy. Like I just sit there and I just like I might go to the store real quick and get someone like a sandwich, like get them like whatever the case may be.
Pineapple Fanta, which is the official drink of every rapper nowadays.
So my mom is I understand. I'm really big on just seeing things from people's point of view. So my mom was like, yeah, I see what she's saying. Like, why is my 20-year-old son just going deep in Brooklyn? First off, we live in Bloomfield, New Jersey. Why is he going deep in Brooklyn for just to sit in a room for 16 hours a week and just like not get paid? But yet he's not going to family parties. He's just doing this.
Yeah.
So but that's why because my the whole engineering aspect, it was new to my family. So they're just like, this is like all of us. This is all new to all of us. I'm just like, oh, I have to be an intern to make this happen. All right, then. So I'll be an intern now. But to my mom, my sister, not my sister, she wasn't even born yet. But to my mom and my family, they just said, yeah, like that's definitely different, but whatever, I guess so. So it definitely was hard because how can you spend 8 months at a space and make $0? Like that makes no sense. Like that's not saying from my parents' point of view. For me, like I understand why, because everything takes time in life. Everything's like more like a stepping stone in a way. Like you can't just like walk into a place and just expect to be like this head honcho. Like you need to pay, not really pay your dues, but like just work for it. I'm really big on that. But yeah, my parents are like, yeah, how is this, like, this is crazy. Like, this guy's for 8 months, he's going to live in Brooklyn. He's like, I barely see my son anymore. He's an intern, and somehow like he's loving it.
He's doing something.
And yeah, but but everything's like, everything's like kind of the bigger picture, because like, that's how the industry is in a way. Sadly, you have to kind of like pay your dues, be an intern, and that's besides the point. But that's how it is. You gotta pay. You gotta just be an intern and just work your way up, and then when you get the opportunity, you just grab it. And that's what happened to me basically. But yeah, that is a different concept. How you tell your parents that for 8 months you're going to Brooklyn and for 16 hours a week you're not getting paid anything. Matter of fact, you're overworking you for those 16 hours a week, and somehow you not getting paid like that. That's crazy. Like, how is that possible? So I understand why my parents, saw it like that. I don't see it like that, but that's how my parents saw it. So I understand why they were like, "What are you doing with your life?" But I knew like, it was like, it's kind of like a process, So that's why I was like, yeah, I'll go there. I'll get the sandwich. I don't care. I'll do all that. Who cares? I'll go to like wherever you need me to intern. I'll be there. But I knew that everything is a bigger picture in life, so I wasn't stressed. I knew like, it's all about just like, I'm here for now, and in 2 years or so I'll be here, and just just kind of like a 10-year plan basically.
Right. You're a very humble person, even now that you've like attained a very small amount of success. Compared to like down the road, you're gonna blow up and get so much money and so much success and stuff like that. But a lot of people, I feel like when they think about the music industry, they feel like it's just very glitzy and glamoury. And one thing I learned about interning at a studio is that it's the exact opposite of glitzy and glamoury. So like people want to be these big rappers and big producers and engineers and big names. Like it comes from a lot of just like hard work and just eating shit and just being told what to do a lot, which I feel like is a big, kind of like a big like ego jab in a sense, to where like you're not just gonna walk in and be given clients, be given studio time. Like that's all that stuff is earned. Do you like when you first started interning? Was that kind of like a culture shock for you, or were you just kind of like in work mode, like, all right, you know what, like I might not like what I'm doing right now, but it's all for a reason. There's a bigger picture for all this in a sense.
Honestly, like it was on 50-50. Like, I'm definitely, yeah, people think that like first I'm moving in the studio is all glamorous, it's like it's all pretty and cute. And it is a profession. Like I love what I do. But how many times have I slept in the studio 3 days straight? How many times have I missed on those family parties, this and that? Like it's the list goes on, but it's more of like a sacrifice that like like I said, everything's for the bigger picture. That like, yeah, the first 8 months, yeah, I'm gonna be at the studio this much times, but it's okay because in a year time I'm starting engineering and make a full-time living off of this goal. So that's what like, definitely like, yeah, people think that studio is like a whole glamorous space, but yeah, like how many times have I been there 3 days straight, just grinding. And in the beginning, I was like 3 days straight, and I probably had one session those 3 days because I was just like, any opportunity, any chance, or you need me for those 2 hours, I bet I'm there. Even meanwhile, I was there for 2 days straight already, and that was my first 2 hours in 2 days after being there for 24 hours, 3 days straight basically. So, it's crazy. But I feel like it humbles you, and like thing is like the way I see is like once you get the opportunity, you're like, oh shit, like you just get excited and you just want to just work even harder, and then you know how it is, like even now, like I see these internet IMI and I still pick up after myself because like. I mean, when I was an intern, I used to hate the fact that engineers just walk out the room and just, this is your mess, not to clean up. And it kind of just keeps you kind of like it just humbles you when you really just go through all the ranks and you see that like, we're all people and it's not fair to just be all because he's an intern, I have to just like treat him differently. Like, no, we're all people, That's
one reason I really respect you a lot, honestly, is because like I used to peep shit like that. Like obviously like, as interns, you have to like clean up the studios, and like sometimes these artists come in big groups and they just leave the studio a fucking mess, bro. That shit like. Bro, like I don't think people really understand how messy these studios actually really get.
No, it's
like
great.
Bottles all over the place, and just like not even just like bottles and just like food and stuff, but just dirt and like just shit everywhere. I'm like, bro, like, did you guys like record here or have like a house party? Like, what is this?
Yeah, it is like, it'll be a 2-hour session.
Facts. Yo, out of everything, facts.
It'll be a 2-hour session, and you're like, how? Like how did it just go left in 2 hours? Like, like it's just like that. But like, it's like, that's what I'm really big on, and also like, but not even like, also because like the way I was raised too, my mom taught me so well, and like I just like, I'll feel like embarrassed to be like, and just rude to be, and I'd be so like kind of like self entitled to be like, yeah, this is your guy's mess. Now I'm gonna head out and you guys take care of this. Right. Like, no,
I'm the professional here.
Like, what takes you like 2 minutes to just like wipe the desk down, or what takes you like just at least pick up the trash on the floor at least? I'm not like like I'm not saying like, well, yeah, actually, yeah, you can do a full clean, but whatever it is, like just help out because like I said, we're all on the same team. Like, what's all this like? Kind of like, I guess like superiority, like well, I don't know the right word to describe it, but like the whole like
a superior complex.
Yeah, like that, like yeah, like oh no, I did a session, so you have to clean now. Like no, like why just help them a little bit, you know, like
it's a lot easier to help out than it is to just
like,
look at someone else and like.
we're literally the same team, like we're all in the same, like we're in the same, we're for the same company, so why not just help out?
And plus, you know exactly what it's like to be like in an intern's position.
I was
wanting their same exact goals and dreams and stuff like that.
Yeah, so that's what, like, you know, it doesn't matter how tired I am. I always try to help out, and I'm still learning too. So of course, there's some questions, there's some answers, there's certain questions I won't have the answers to. But you know, I was an intern. I was just so hungry. The second the room was done, I used to run in there and just clean, and then I would just like I would overhear things like, you know, or I would just overhear the engineer playing a mix. And I'd be like, oh, like, what is that, by the way? Like, you know, I was like kind of whisper like, oh, what is that, by the way? And I would kind of, like, I was scarily ask them like, oh, like I would like whisper. I'm also very soft spoken too, so I'm so I was just like, oh, like, what is that, by the way? Because I'm scared to even ask them what that is.
Yeah, I feel you.
But you know, just like yeah, like that's why, like, the way that's why I am now, because you know I really just they went through the ranks, you know, and not even that, but my first ever job was a place in Brooklyn, and they're like, and they kind of sour, so like that just put me like, I don't know, it just really just made me want to just like, whoever gives me a chance, I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna like go crazy. Whoever that studio is, I'm gonna go absolutely wild to make sure like I make the best out of it. And funny enough, IMI was the one that gave me a chance, and that's why now IMI and also Sound Studios, because these two studios are for me that gave me a chance when like no one wanted to hire me. Like back in the day, like what happened is like, you know, I would like every other day I would DM like students in New York a whole like generic paragraph saying, oh, my name is Chris Marcel, I'm an engineer from blah blah blah. I would love to work for you. Please contact me back. And everyone would just be like, I'm sorry, you know, we're just looking for engineers. We're just looking for interns. We're not hiring right now. And it took that this place in Queens actually replied to my group messages, because like every day I will send a group message to all these different students through IG, like, hey, like, you know, like, are you guys hiring? Because I was just so hungry to really make it happen. Because you know, like, back to the point I said before, like, you know, you have to make it 40 hours. It's not just like given 40-hour week. Like, you know, you have to really make it 40 hours. So that's why like I was just so like just so hungry. And I would just DM constantly every other day. I would just, any student I found on the sponsored page, I'll be, yo, my name is Chris Marcel. Do you need like any engineers? Like, yo, let me know. I know I'm new to this, but like, please give me a chance. It's not. And then funny enough, Sound Studios in Queens gave me a chance, and I'm there now. So like these two spots for me is like everything.
Those other studios that didn't even hit you back up, they have no idea how much they fucked up.
Yeah, you know,
they could have had their wizard on their roster, but nah, they decided to just, you know, look for other interns and do shit. You know, shame on them.
Nah, I'm stressed. You know, no, you know, I'm just like, you know, to me, I really believe in like, yeah, everything happens for a reason, and like I felt like it was right to be at these two spots, because like there I was able to flourish and really grow and really given a chance. Like, I love it. So yeah, these two spots, I'm goated. But yeah, who cares about the other studios? I'm all about IMI and Sound Studios now.
All about the home team.
Yeah, I'm all about the people that gave me a chance. You know, they gave me a chance. So like, why turn my back on them? You know, stuff like that.
That's true. Speaking of IMI, a portion of the 6ix9ine documentary on Hulu was actually filmed at IMI. They interviewed Bodega Bams about working with 6ix9ine at first within his first career, and there was some other B-roll about with Bodega, like actually at a studio at IMI. You were the engineer at that session, and you actually get a little bit of screen time in there, just you like doing your thing and stuff like that. Walk to me through that whole experience. Like, how did it feel seeing yourself on a Hulu documentary, even if it was just in the background?
Man, all that stuff, like, you know, it's really just like surreal, you know. So the way I describe it is like kind of like a dream in a way, because, you know, all of us dream of having like those moments. And like when you see it, you're just like, nah, I can't. That's not me. Even though, like, you know, that camera was like in your face though that day. Yeah. But just like, you know, just so surreal, because like, you know, all of us like I talk fast, sorry, but you know, I daydream a lot. You know, I'll be on my bus ride home and be like, damn, I would love to have that big moment, this and that. Right. And you really just, you know, just dream about it and just be like, you know, be really hopeful. And the fact that it happened, you're just like, damn, man. I remember when I was on my NJ Transit, just being like, yo, I hope one day I'll be there, or I'll have that big moment, and just, you know, just hope. And the fact that it happened is just so beautiful. And not even that, but the fact that having IMI as well is more of just like a really just beautiful circle, you know?
Yeah, man, absolutely. That's huge. Plus, Bodega Man is a huge artist, by the way. Yeah. So the fact that you were hired out to, you know, to do one of the sessions, that's pretty huge.
Oh, so the story behind that is so I work with a Dominican artist called Israel. So he's dope. He's really just a great artist. And basically what happened is he got the feature from Bodega Bands. And yeah, so basically that's what happened. So I worked with one of the clients, and the feature artist on the song called Wi-Fi. So that's actually how it's been out for a while. But like, yeah, so the song was basically Wi-Fi from Israel and Bodega Band. So basically what happened is it was just when I first did the song, it was just Israel, and it was just him, and it was like an open 16 bars for whoever. And I had no idea who was gonna be until like a month later. He told me it was gonna be with Bodega Band, and he came to the A room and we recorded him. And meanwhile, they're shooting that day. They're shooting video. I'm thinking just like, you know, BTS basically. I'm thinking, you know, just like, you know, they hired like a camera crew just to record, just in case, like, you know, or not even that, but just to kind of like, you know, have like behind the scenes footage basically. So that's how I saw it basically, like, you know, all these cameras there. And it turns out, like, you know, 2 months later or so, not even that, I think it was like a year later, it was on Hulu, and it's just crazy. Like I said,
Right.
the whole thing situation is so surreal because, like I said, like I worked this the main artist for like a year, before that for months, and it's funny how like it just like full circle. Here we are now on Hulu, me, him, and
Yeah.
I. So it's like cool, like cool little circle.
So you didn't know at first that it was a Hulu documentary. That was 6ix9ine, like nothing to do with
No,
6ix9ine, nothing like that. It was just regular cameras coming in,
no, I
stuff like
took it
that.
as like they muffled like it's for a documentary, but I thought it was just people like I also like with music playing loud, I thought maybe I misheard it, but
Right.
I had no idea what or what. I just heard the word documentary, so I heard it, but I was like, oh, maybe I don't know, who
Yeah,
knows,
right.
but.
Documentary could be like a very low budget documentary, or it could be
Yeah,
Hulu
I
or
thought
some
something for
shit.
YouTube. I was like, oh, it's probably just a YouTube thing, cause like and the whole 6ix9ine thing, I had no idea it was about the 6ix9ine thing. It was just like I just took it as like just BTS. It was just a behind the scenes for just a studio session in a way, basically. And it turned out that like a year later, it was for that, and it was like a big like, oh, this is wild. This is unbelievable.
Recently, you got the honor and privilege of being a part of being inducted into the SAE Hall of Fame, which is pretty crazy, even like by your standards. How did that feel? Because you graduated what 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah, I graduated 2 years ago.
2 years ago, and you're inducted into the Hall of Fame, like for like such a prestigious audio engineering school, which like so many professionals in the audio and production field have gone into. Like, how does that feel?
Honestly, it's back to the thing I was talking about, the whole Hulu situation. It's just so surreal because you daydream about things like that. You really hope for things like that happen. Like all of us want the accolades, and when it happens, you're just like, wow. I remember when I was like just praying, or I was just hoping that like, or being like, damn, I hope one day I'll be there, and then it happened. You're just like, wow, this is unbelievable. I remember when I was like I said, like my whole thing is like, oh, that's why I love my train rides from New Jersey to New York, because like it's like 40 minutes of me just sitting there listening to headphones. I have headphones on, just hearing music and just in my thoughts, and just, yeah, I remember just being like, yo, I remember, I would love to be part of the Hall of Fame. That'd be so like, it'd be such a really just beautiful thing, just be part of that group, because these are some superstar engineers that work with DJ Khaled. One of them worked on Bodak Yellow. This is a really prestigious group, and to be there, just like this is unbelievable, and such a blessing. Because damn, like that's the fact that you even consider me for that role is just like crazy, and I gotta just make sure I keep the same work ethic now. But I always will be. It's not even like I'm gonna keep it. Like I always gonna keep the same work ethic.
It just gives like an extra like reminder of, damn, like this is exactly what all that sacrifice is for.
Yeah, and it's like kind of like I'm really big on like a full circle, because like I said, I remember when like I was an intern, and like and the fights I got with my mom, like like she was just upset with me that the fact that I would just be in Brooklyn, and it won't be like a non-paid gig, and here I'm now doing this and that, and it's just like it's really inspiring, because I remember when I was not even considered for a session, and here I am now.
Yeah, right.
Like I was begging for sessions, like I was like begging for even just being an intern, and here am I doing that. So it's like, it's just really inspiring that like just making that full circle in life, and it's just beautiful.
Nah, man, that's incredible. So talk to me about like some of your current clients right now. Like what are some of your favorite clients to work with right now?
Honestly, I could sit here and name you like everyone, and I know me, like I'm gonna miss a name and like I'll feel terrible. But like honestly, all my clients from IMI and Sound Studios to me is everything, because not even that, but they give me a full-time wage, and then they just like the fact that like they can like I can live off my dream and make a living off of it is just like so incredible. Like it just like it blows my mind, because I remember when like I had like 2 clients and I could barely buy a train ticket back home. So like the fact that now I can move to New York, this and that is like beautiful, and it's very inspiring. But the list goes on, from Cairo to Maz, it's just like just money. Like it's Scambino, like it's just like I said, like I can go on about all the people I work with. That
Scambino's doing his thing too.
I love him. He's awesome, man.
Yeah.
No, he's incredible. Like I said, like the list goes like so on, and I'll feel terrible, like when I watch this back a week later, like damn, I forgot that name and that name and that name.
That's all good.
But not even that,
You
just
got so many clients, it's tough to even like keep track of
like,
sometimes.
But all these clients, like I said, like I can like sit here and give you like 20 minutes of like who I love working. Not even that, but I love all my clients. But just like just everyone I work with is just crazy how like just the people I work with that really trust me with their dreams. Like it's crazy.
Awesome. So one of the best albums that I've heard this year from an independent artist is "Wasted Moonlight" by Darius. We mentioned Darius before. Yeah. Listening to that album was great because I actually sat into a couple of sessions with you guys to where like you guys were like mixing some songs and stuff like that. I knew it was gonna be a great album in general, and you get credited with the mastering portion, right? Or like with mixing the whole.
Yeah, so I mixed and mastered the whole thing basically.
Dope. So how was that whole experience like? Because Darius is a really creative person and artist. Like he's just a very like explosive electric type of guy. So how was it like with that whole process of making the album?
And it was like such a surreal moment, honestly. Like the whole process was just crazy. Basically he came up to me like IMI. It was one of our late nights, because literally what happened is we'll work the whole night. We'll work from 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. and then we'll have like that 3 hour gap, which is everyone's gone or everyone's asleep. That no more clients for the day, so we could just kind of just use the rooms for like for our work. And yeah, like it was just like a whole beautiful like just cycle. We were just like from the first idea to now. So basically, we finished the album like months before. We already mixed it, but thing is before I never really mixed with the beat stems. Usually we'll work like with the 2-track. And for this album, you're like, you know what, you made all the beats. Let's actually mix this properly. Let's do a proper like professional mix in a way. Let's mix it with the beat stems. Let's just do a whole new mix for it. And yeah, like we did it, and it just yeah, great experience. I remember like how many nights of like we'll have an 8 hour session each. And here we are now, like at 4 a.m., just working on the album after having an 8 hour day. It's like so much memories, and not even that, but even the video you took of us like in the D room in a way.
Yeah, thanks. Like, I might have to upload that footage because I know you have it, but I gotta upload it to YouTube into IG. So I took some BTS of Chris mixing "Losing My Mind." Yeah, which is one of my favorite tracks on the whole album. Yeah. So it was just like incredible because as soon as I walked in, I was like, damn, like this album's gonna be nuts.
No,
that
honestly,
song is crazy.
Like, no, it was like, yeah, the fact that you got the whole footage of that is crazy because that was such a really just unique moment, man. Like here we are now in the D room, freezing. Like all of us had our jackets on. Remember, it was cold. Like it was cold around that time.
Yeah, it was.
And there was no heater. Like we just have. If you see the video, you see me with a big ass jean jacket. You see Lavish next to me wearing a jacket as well.
Facts.
So it's just like we're freezing, but meanwhile the video looks so cool. Like we're all just working, but like no, yeah, that project for me was like my favorite thing I worked on. One of my favorite projects I worked on this last year or this year as well.
Have you ever thought about maybe like making like your own type of EP, your own album, or like curating your own type of like label or something like that?
No, honestly, yeah, because I'm really big on just no what ifs, like just not. I don't want to just like have like I wonder what happened if I did this. So yeah, I'm working on an EP actually, but it's not me doing anything vocally, and I'm barely doing production. I'm mostly just doing like a compilation tape in a way.
Okay.
Like I've been working for the past. It's been a year, but it's mostly been like thinking about and just doing more blueprints, and now I'm actually doing more of the recording process. I recently started working on track 2. Hopefully this week maybe next week I'll start working on track 3, but we'll see what happens. But besides that, yeah, I've been working on an EP recently. It's be at least 8 tracks, and this is gonna be like a really big just project. Hopefully it's gonna be just my friends, or not even that, but it'll be all my clients that I work with, all my good friends and clients that I work with, and it's kind of like a big like just a get together in a way. Because, I work with people in Queens and IMI and this and that in Jersey. So it's like kind of like a connection in a way. Like, I know you guys don't know each other, but I engineer your guys' songs. So let's actually do like a big project. Let's do like a one song together. Yeah, that's dope. And, because I know, like I said, I know this guy from Lower East. I know this guy from Queens. I know this guy from Jersey. So like, and it happens that I engineered the 3 of you guys. So let's see what we could do.
So one thing all you guys have in common is me.
I work with your song, so like and I feel like you guys like if you find the right beat, we could do something kind of cool with this.
Facts, yeah, of course.
So like for the past year, basically, I was doing more like blueprints in a way. I've been finding the right beats, not in the right beats, the more that fit kind of like the vision I want to do because I'm really big into Pink Floyd and the Beatles, and I remember like just hearing like Pink Floyd and being like being so like just like so like involved and being like wow, like how are they doing like these like. It sounds like it's one big song in a way. The way it put together, it sounds like one beautiful 40-minute song basically. And the fact that the way they just know how to just bend and just combine sounds and everything was just beautiful to me. So anyways, hopefully this year, but we'll see what happens. There's not really a rush to it. It's kind of like a project I put in the side. I want to make sure everything good on everyone else's projects first.
Yeah, take your time because like a big project like that where you get like so many working minds together, you have to make sure like everything's kind of organized.
It's gonna a lot of stuff. I'm ready to really. I'm ready for it though. I'm looking forward to it. So it is what it is. I don't mind that like it's It's a process, Hopefully next week I'll work on track 3. If not, the next week or maybe next month. I have no rush to it because to me it's like it's more of like a fun project.
That's dope.
It's more just like a kind of like a fun
a passion project.
Yeah, it's really like the way I'm doing it, man. Like I don't really care about the money. I'm giving up like most of the royalties to like artists on the song. Like I don't really care about the money for this. Like it's really just a passionate project. It's just more just like I just want to do it and I want to do it right. And I don't really care about like all that everything else. I just want to just do. It's a nice project and just like I said, it's really just more like a passionate project basically.
That's dope. You mentioned royalties before, and we've seen within the media like issues with royalties and like certain artists getting royalties and like mismanagement and stuff like that. With that being said, what are some flaws in the music industry that you would like to see resolved, or maybe like some bad aspects of the music industry that you wish were better for either for the artist or for whichever people on whichever sides?
Honestly, what I feel like is more just like kind of like I'm kind of like a hypocrite because I kind of do the same thing, but more just like on the workflow wise, because people I feel like they're so pressured to be like to work nonstop that like it's so like draining and you get burnt out easily. So I feel like the more thing is just like I feel like just being just more just like give yourself a break at least, you know. Because I understand that I'm the same way. Trust me, I'm all about just working 40 hours, 50 hours a week, but like at least give yourself one day off. Like that's all I ask for, you know. And at first, you know, I'm like I said, I'm the biggest hypocrite about this. You know, before is I would do like 7 days straight, just doing like 10-hour sessions every day. But I realized, like, you know, after a while, like, it's like, you know, you're getting burnt out. You're losing your love for this. Like, you just, you know, you're burnt out. You're just burnt out. You're just burnt out. So that's why I realized that's the one thing I feel like should change in the industry. That, you know, not so much that people are so pressured to work hard, because everyone was like scared to lose like their position basically.
Right.
So it's kind of just like, you know, just feel like just take a day off, man. Like I feel like you take that one day off, you're gonna be so like just
relax, you know, just sleep, you know, just recharge yourself.
But like I said, like I'm the biggest hypocrite because I'll literally do blah blah blah. I'll do session after session and I won't even sleep. But I do at least give myself at least one day off a week because, you know, at least one day kind of like, you know, see family. Not even that, but sleep. I don't know, go to the park, go to the mall, whatever the case may be. But at least one day to yourself to kind of just like, you know, relax because it could take a toll on you. Not really like physically, but more like, well, actually, yeah, physically. You know, we're sitting all day, but like, you know, mentally, because you're not giving your mind a break. You're just constantly just like in the studio, you know. So, so that's why I feel like, you know, just the whole like work ethic part of like, you know, just the whole studio life is just more just be like, you know, give yourself a break. You know, we're all humans. You can't just do this 8 days a week and go crazy. Like, you know, just give yourself at least one day. You know. Yeah.
The biggest flaw about music artists that I see and like producers and engineers is that they don't take care of themselves within like a healthy type of way. Obviously, we see people like Shock G, DMX, you know, legends dying in their 50s, which is sad because for me, it's like you did your thing with music, you made your money, you've put people onto millions, potentially even billions, but you can't even like enjoy like a full length of your life with your family because you just weren't either taking care of yourself or you were spreading yourself too thin or just, you know, overall like just not being healthy. And it sucks because it's like, I feel like a lot of these music artists, you know, they give so much to the fans and to the public and they give out so much that like at the end, like they just feel like tired out and like obviously like the bodies can't like really take it anymore. And obviously, you know, other things go into it like, you know, addiction and stuff like that. So I kind of see where you're coming from. I feel like, you know, I want my favorite music artists and engineers and professionals to be able to live a long life and spend time with their families more than just feel like they have to like consistently like give random strangers a product.
No, yeah, because no, I agree with you because I know they're, you know, yeah, they achieve some great things in their life, but also they're also people like us, so they definitely need a break. And it's just, you know, like I said, it could take a lot, like mentally, it could take a lot from you just being so much on the go and so much just working hard. Like, you know, like I said, we're all people, we all need a break eventually. So that's why, like, that's the one thing I don't agree with. You know, just like that, just give yourself a break. You know, like I said, I'm all for working hard, but at least just one day out of the week, just like for yourself, whatever can be, maybe be sleeping, whatever, even just playing FIFA, like whatever the case may be, just like you just. Kind of like a you day in a way, just like, you know, relax,
self-care.
Yeah, you know, self-care. You know, self-care in a way. You know, because like I said, I'm all for working hard, and I'm like, I'm the biggest hypocrite because I'll be locked in for sessions. But at least like, you know, one day for yourself, just like go see how your mom's doing. Not even that, go to the park, go for a run, go see how your best friend's doing. Just see what's up. You know, just kind of like one day to kind of give yourself a break, basically. Because like it's just so much like you kind of like I said, the whole thing you get burnt out. When you get burnt out, you just, you know, you're burnt out. You start just have like a nasty attitude to certain things. You just kind of just not in the mood for things, and just not really a good thing for you, like creatively, to be burnt out. You know, so I just feel like kind of just like preserve yourself, just like relax a little bit, but definitely work hard though. But you know, just kind of like, you know, find that medium. Yeah. And it took me a while to find. It took me 2 years to find that medium. Right. But you know, everything's a learning process, because you know, because of like, you know, you need to first find like your limits. Yeah. And once you find that, you know, you could just take it slow and just, you know, like I said, just find like a schedule for you. Maybe like you should work more in the morning, maybe work at night, or just take 2 days off, or whatever the case may be. But just kind of just like, you know, give yourself a break, but also work hard. Just try to find that sweet medium, you know? Yeah. We hear like the term work hard, play hard, but it should kind of be like work hard, play hard, and rest hard too. No, I agree, man. I'm really big on this saying. It's like work harder, work smart. Work smarter, not harder. Yeah. Yeah, it was like that. It's completely just blanked. But yeah, so like, you know, so like that basically, you know, because like, yeah, like definitely like just like be smart how the way you're gonna invest like these hours into this day to your craft. Like definitely like, you know, definitely work hard, but like just make sure you're just being productive. And not even that, but just make sure you're just giving yourself a break, honestly, because like I said, just being burnt out and being a creative is not good for you at all. One last question before I'll let you go. What do you have planned like these upcoming months? Are there any projects you're involved with that you're really excited about, or any other like endeavors at all that we should be aware of? Honestly, no, I have a couple. I'm definitely like I'm working on more albums now, and that's a blessing. I have things with J Vinci, I have things with Jonas, I have my EP I'm working on, I have things with, you know, with Darius. Yo, honestly, after hearing that first album, I can't wait to hear more of like Darius' stuff, bro. He's like, the man's a just genius. I can't say anything, it's crazy. Yeah. But everyone I work with is just brilliant. I have to suffer with Nina. I have to suffer like the list. Like I said, I can go on with who I'm working with tonight.
Oh, in fact, yeah. Shout out to Nina Woods. Nina Woods is fire too.
She her ear
on the
like,
vocals and the violin.
She has like a pitch perfect like ear. It's like crazy how like she just hear I worked with her last night. I worked with her yesterday evening. Crazy how like she just knows how to just like I said, pitch perfect ear. Just you could tell she's well trained in her craft and just just brilliant. But no, just I don't know, just seeing what's up. Honestly, I want to do more traveling. I'm going to Denver next month.
Nice.
I'm gonna see if I can get a final ticket to the so I watch soccer. So my team Man United is actually in the UEFA, not in the UEFA, in the Europa League final.
Oh, nice.
And so like if I win this ticket, I might go to Poland for 3 days for the final, and that'd be cool. That'd be different.
That. Yeah, that's fine.
So let's see what happens. But I mostly like I'm working on music, but the next month I'm more just like kind of just I want to like live life. I want to go to DR. I want to see my pops over there.
Yeah.
I just want to I want to work hard, but also I want to give myself a break, because like
enjoy. Because like, what's the point of working so hard if you can't even enjoy it?
You work or you do all this work and do this and that, but like, what are you doing? Like, are you seeing the outside world? Because like we're in like a little bubble. Like we're in my case, because I most west I've been to is like Georgia. It's not even west, but that's like the most. Not East Coast I've been is Georgia. So the main thing is like, I want to just travel more and just enjoy life more. I definitely want to like maybe take another day off in the coming week because I'll just make sure I'm more booked on those 5 days. But besides that, just I'm traveling, just really just enjoying life because like, I love what I do, but I want to see the world, I want to go to England hopefully in August. Like I just want to just do so much things like outside of music as well and travel, but also like I have projects that I'm working on. It's just definitely eventful what I'm doing for the next couple months.
All right, awesome, man. Listen, I definitely appreciate you coming on the show, man. A whole lot of knowledge you just dropped, a whole lot of gems and all that. If you're an engineer or someone who wants to work in the music industry, definitely take this podcast into consideration. It's not easy, but trust me, this is the guy to really look at when it comes to really like working hard and like getting to a certain level in life, man.
Thank you, no, thank you for having me. This is awesome, honestly. I definitely I'm never like a very nervous person, but I should definitely I want to come on my show more. So thank you for having me. It definitely was a great experience, and it was nice.
No problem. I'm actually surprised it's your first podcast too. You did it pretty well.
I'm so like I'm just so like I'm just a nervous person. It's not even like I said before. It wasn't like the environment. It's just more just like I want to. I don't know what to say. Like right. I have like I want to. I can.
You have a lot to say. We just did like over an hour of like footage over here, man.
That's true. But thing is like, cause like I can ramble. Thing is like cause I started talking fast basically. That's why right now I'm trying to slow down. I'm trying to like not talk too fast and just be just like and just really just speak as clear as possible. Because I can ramble and just say like 5 words at the same time and just ramble and ramble.
I feel you. No, it's just like you're working fast with Pro Tools. It's kind of hard to just like adapt to everything else.
No, that's true. Well, but honestly, thank you for having me. Honestly, I appreciate it. Definitely was a great experience just being here and just, great home as well. So thank you as well.
All right, awesome, man. Appreciate it.
No,
all right, so this is a real podcast. Stay tuned for more vlogs, more content coming out. If you guys need podcast production, distribution included and everything, hit us up at link in our bio and everything like that. Chris, thank you, man. We appreciate it.
It was an honor. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, this is a real podcast. We'll catch you guys next time.